You are listening to ChartingWealth.com for Wednesday, the 26th of April, 2017. We see that the markets are up again today as far as the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100. Gold down, bonds way down. Let's jump right in and see what these charts are showing us. We go first to the weekly chart on the SPY, which is the S&P 500 ETF. What do we see going on? Well, we've got a huge up candle as far as the weekly chart goes. We see that we have a PPO that is moving not simply across, but it's not simply parallel, but actually moving up toward the red signal line. Derivative oscillator has lost a little bit of its energy. That is a big green up candle for the week. It actually is as high as, in fact, it's as high as where we saw the move after the two-day crossover going down. It has gotten that high. If we look at our two-day chart, we can actually see where the crossover occurred, that we've actually hit that. And what does that tell us? Well, it tells us that there is a huge upsurging market. It is trying to erase that down move, getting very close, has not crossed over yet on that two-day chart, but is erasing any kind of gains that we had with our weekly vertical crossover, taking those not only away from us, but trying to move over in the other direction. Is this weekly vertical crossover going to be that short-lived? Well, we're going to pay close attention to it. For those of you who got into a practice trade that Monday after the weekly vertical crossover, very close to calling that off completely, particularly with this latest upsurge. If you did not get out on the 4-hour or the 2-hour chart, and we're waiting for the 2-day, hasn't happened yet, but it may be happening very soon, you would close that trade, and of course you would wait to see if the market reverts over going back down. We don't yet have the signal for closing it completely, but it's getting awfully close to that. We'll continue to monitor as we go along. We also see on as we go to the Qs, and again up 0.72%, S&P 500 up 0.58% for the day. The Qs, which is the NASDAQ 100, also moving up, getting very close to crossing over actually on the weekly chart. Hasn't happened yet, but very close. If we look at our two-day chart, we see that it's also getting very close to crossing over, going up. So we shall continue to monitor that. That is a gigantic big up candle and losing lots of that downward momentum as the Qs hits an all-time high for the Qs, and again, up very, very, very strong, very, very high. So again, that kind of enthusiasm is not likely to be dampened immediately, and we will continue to monitor that. So not only are we about to see a crossover on the two-day, but it appears to be that we're about to see a crossover potentially on the weekly. We will continue to monitor that. Now, let's continue to move along. Next, we will go to TLT, which is a 20-year bond fund. Of course, we had that weekly vertical crossover occur way back there at the beginning of February. It had tracked sideways and down and then started taking off when we had that two-day crossover on Friday the 24th of March, and had really flown up since then. We are now approaching the weekly trend line, and if we go and take a look at our two-day trend line, what do we see? Well, we are dropping down. We've already violated the two-day trend line, but we're getting closer and closer to crossing over, going down on our two-day PPO. So pay close attention to that as stocks surge. What, of course, happens? Well, we tend to see bonds and gold, which is where the money goes when stocks aren't doing well. We tend to see people move away from those into stocks, which consequently cause those to go down. So again, if you're in an up bond position, monitor very closely if you are still in that position, to monitor very closely whether or not you wish to stay in that, particularly consider very strongly getting out if there's a crossover going down on that 2-day chart. Back to the weekly, we will go to gold. That was down, for the record, TLT down 1.2% for the day. Gold down 1% for the day. Of course, gold on the weekly chart has a spinning top, means lots of indecision, getting very close to violating that weekly trend line. And we can see that PPO's lost a lot of its energy, along with the derivative oscillator losing its energy. So pay close attention there. Let's check out the 2-day chart. Again, moving down, getting very close to crossover, going down. And of course, what do we see on our 4-hour chart? Well, that 4-hour chart continues to be prescient, does it not, as far as how gold moves? It seems like whenever that 4-hour chart moves in one direction or the other, it really portends where things are going. So that did cross over back on that 4-hour chart on the afternoon of the Wednesday, the 19th. And of course, if we look at that 4-hour chart, it slid sideways and up a little, and then of course dropped off really strong starting around the morning of Monday, the 24th of April. So again, we'll continue to monitor where gold, where bonds, where the S&P 500, and where the Qs are. But this enthusiasm in the market is, of course, pushing those inversely related gold and TLT ETFs, that is the bond ETFs, down. That's where we are, folks. You have questions, problems, concerns. We love to hear from you at Charting Wealth. All you have to do is write us, email us, cw@chartingwealth.com, or just go right to our website, chartingwealth.com. You can contact us right there under the Contact Us section of the website. You can send us any message you would like. We love to hear from you. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, you name it. We are there for you. Please go and sign up for our newsletter. You will receive every day the videos that we produce on market conditions and the training that we do. We'll send those out to you every day that they are available, and that's every day that the market is open. And it'll come right to your email box. Again, chartingwealth.com. We never sell your email addresses. We never spam. We only send you the information that's valuable, that you need. Also, if you would like to receive our text service that sends you weekly vertical crossover information, what you need to do is on your cell phone, text to the number 33222, the word Charting Wealth, and we will put you on that service, get that information out to you. Thank you so much for being with us. God bless from chartingwealth.com.